Welcome, Impactful Parents. Today we're going to talk about gadgets and technology that can help us be better parents and help our children learn and grow. I know technology has a bad rap right now, like no more screen time, no more technology. My kids have had enough, but there are some really cool gadgets out there and tech stuff that can really benefit our household. So today I have special guest on, Scott Tharler, who is a gadgets expert. Scott has over 20 years of technology journalist experience where he's been publicized in several different tech magazines. He is a father of 2 girls and 1 boy and has launched his new program called the Family CTO. It's a new kind of gadget website that helps you enhance your digital lifestyle with fun and practical things, which we get to learn about today. Very excited to have him on. Thank you for being here, Scott.
Christina, thanks for having me.
How can gadgets help parents and really make an impact on their parenting?
Well, there are some gadgets that actually will directly help you be better parents. There was one that my kids used called Kudo Banz, and it was actually like a cute little bracelet that they wore. What was great about this is that they set up the reward system. It's all positive reinforcement. We had a conversation, and that's a theme that's going to happen, is that when you're dealing with gadgets and kids, there needs to be a conversation. So the conversation we had was, what seems like the kind of thing that you should get a reward for? Is it sharing a toy? Is it helping out? Is it whatever it is? We would set that up, and then we would give them a little trinket, and the trinket fits right onto the bracelet. And then when they get 3 of them, they unlock something. The 3rd one is a special thing that uses augmented reality. And what that means is that when I hold up my phone with the app over the bracelet, this magical animated thing happens with a dragon or something that says, congratulations, you just unlocked something. And then we get to spin a big prize wheel to see what they won. And the secret is they picked what they want. So it's one of 6 things that they said that they want. They want to go out for ice cream. They want to stay up for a movie. They want special daddy-daughter date. Whatever it is, they get to choose what that thing is. So they're invested in this the whole way. And it's something that I've found, especially in that age range, I think in that like kind of 4 to 8 range, it's a really good way that motivates them because they're so invested and they love seeing flying dragons. So every step along the way, the Kudo Banz was something that helped.
Oh, yes. I could see that working for even my 10, 11-year-old through too, who loves positive reinforcement and kind of thrives off that. You know, depending on your child, some kids really, that's how they learn the best, is through all those positive reinforcements. It sounds like a great gadget. Yeah, what else do you have for us?
I recently heard about one that's called PlayAttention, and I haven't used it, but it looks so interesting. I thought I would mention it because it might help parents out in the audience. It's for ADHD. And so it's actually a software program that helps kids focus, and it's using clinically proven neurofeedback. And so they're watching a screen and they're getting reinforced for watching the screen and just staying focused. And it's such an interesting concept to me that you can actually train your brain as opposed to just popping a pill or saying, uh-oh, she's just distracted or he just can't stay focused. So I thought that was sort of a fun, proactive way to use technology.
What are some of the things you have behind you there?
I've got some fun things behind me, actually. I have this one over here is called Sphero Mini. And Sphero, they were known because they created this robotic ball that you could control with your phone and go all over the place. And actually, they're the company that helped do the technology for BB-8, like in the Star Wars movies. And so here you have this tiny little thing, it's about the size of a golf ball. And you set up these little obstacle courses in this little activity kit. You can program it. So it teaches the kids programming, but also it's just fun to see a little ball go around. This one is called Doodlematic. And I have to say, I discovered this about 1.5 years ago. It's amazing. It's something where kids actually draw with markers, with real markers on real paper, and they take their drawings and turn it into a video game. And so they get to draw in certain colors, and it's not just like, oh, they draw a picture and then boom, the things do some weird animation. It actually is a kit that takes you through and it tells you, here's how a video game works. You need a main character. They need to be trying to do something. There needs to be something trying to keep them from doing that thing. And here are the kinds of things you could do. You could have walls. You could have it firing bullets. You could have it flying. And so it really helps the kid develop their storytelling skills and their creative skills. And at the end of it, they get to see their own video game. Probably the showstopper, I'll have to see if it's turned on, is this guy. This is a robot from a company called RoboSen, and his name is T9. Now, if this works, it will be very impressive. Hey, T9, transform. So you have this transforming robot. Like that alone, if it just did that, amazing. There are about 10 different commands you can give it. And I won't go through all of them because he literally will start dancing around and shooting guns and doing all sorts of really fun stuff. But what's cool about it is that if you just do that, that's fine. And then there's coding that you can teach your kids how to do. And so you go into the app and you can tell it to do things. And he's so articulated. You can literally have him do like push-ups or a dance routine, whatever you want him to do. And it gets kids thinking in a way of coding. And so for your boy or girl who wants the kind of toy that's going to grow with them and really not just be like a one-hit wonder, I really like this T9.
I love that it's coding and it's just creativity. So many great gadgets there. This is amazing.
Became aware of a company called Gabb Wireless. What's great about it is that's super simple. They have a phone where it's basically a stripped down Android phone. It only has 14 apps. It does not do streaming. It does not do, you can't load more apps onto it. It doesn't do email. It doesn't do the internet. It only does what a kid's phone needs to do, which is call, text, take pictures, record audio, video. That's it. There's a calendar in there so you can put in like chores and things like that. But essentially, it's just a closed down thing. So it doesn't even need parental controls because there's nothing else the kid can do with it. What's great about it is that it has this thing in it where they just rolled out a GPS feature so that I can see exactly, because I got one for my 10-year-old and one for my 8-year-old. I never thought, even as a gadget guy, I never thought I would be getting my kids phones this early. But then Gabb came along. So I can see where they are. I open up an app on my phone and I can see exactly like, oh, this one's at school, this one's at the airport. And you can figure out like where, if they're in the wrong place or whatever, like you contact them and say, hey, what's going on? It even tells you like what their phone's battery percentage is. So I feel connected to my kids. I have peace of mind and I know that they can do what they need to do and they're not going to be addicted to their screen. It's more about just letting them be out in the world. And in fact, there's a thing that Gabb does called Gabb Life, where if they go and show their phone to certain vendors, they can get stuff. Like they can get a discount on frozen yogurt or a free hour at a trampoline park or something. So it really is more than just a gadget. It's about a lifestyle.
That's a great one. I'm thinking, again, for those younger children who are dying to get their phone, but you don't want them surfing online all day long. So that's a great option. It even can use for a teenager, honestly, who maybe lost some phone privileges, but you still want to let them interact with their friends, but don't want them to be watching YouTube in the middle of the night. So
yeah, it's a phone and it should be a first phone. And it's a great conversation starter because you don't just hand a kid a motorcycle. You give them like a tricycle, a bicycle, like they work their way up. So why would you just hand them an iPhone? Like it doesn't matter if it's an old iPhone, it's still connected to the great big world. You don't just hand them a chocolate cake. You say, hey, have a little snack first. You need to have a conversation with your kids about what's good phone etiquette. We don't do talking or texting at the table. When someone calls you back, you call them back within a certain time. Or when you're texting, you do this. I think we assume the kids just sort of know, like that there's some great big download that happens and they just know how to do every tech thing more than we do. But it's a conversation.
I love the etiquette piece of talking with your child and teaching them the good etiquette of texting and phone calls. It's so important.
It's a good thing. I think a lot of people get turned off because they think gadget equals screen equals turn off your brain. And a lot of the things that I like are gadgets that they might not even have a screen. Actually, I have one here. I'll shift around a little bit. I have something here that's like my favorite thing that has no screen. So this is called Airfort. And I found this at the toy fair like a year and a half ago. And what this is essentially it's a silk igloo that you hook up to a fan. Basically, this thing just sort of inflates, and then your kids have a fort that they can play in. So they have this super fun igloo that they can go under, and they're not going to be taking all the pillows and blankets and disrupting things. And then eventually the little brother always jumps on top of the pillows and blankets and ruins the fort. So this is something so easy. And then when you're done with it, you just turn this thing off, and then you stash up the thing and put it back in its little sack, and that's it.
I mean, this sounds great. I know I'm going to go out and look some of these gadgets up for my own kids, and even on rainy days and snow days and things like that. Having these kind of resources at your disposal to call on as a parent when you need it is so helpful. I love it.
It's starting to become spring. I think we're all starting to think, okay, at some point I might like actually crack the door open and go outside into the sunshine. There's something called Spot My UV. And it's basically a sun protection thing. And it's literally just like a little dot. And you put this little dot like on your shoulder or wherever, and then you put sunscreen on the dot and on yourself. And then they've created this material that acts just like your skin does. And so it's clear. And then when it dries out and when it's too hot, it turns purple. And so when you look down and see, uh-oh, it's purple, that's time to reapply your sunscreen.
These gadgets can definitely make us better parents. Scott, if anybody wanted to get a hold of you to do more gadget stuff, or they wanted to learn more from you, how would they do that?
Well, I have a podcast, or you can reach out to me directly. It's scott@thefamilycto.com.
How is the Family CTO a new kind of gadget site? How is it different than other ones that might be out there?
Well, there are a million gadget sites out there. And what most of them do is they talk about news and gossip and what's the latest thing. And it's fine to want to keep up with the latest thing. I think technology is interesting, but it's a tool. It's not like the end all be all. So the Family CTO is more about solutions. It's more about what am I trying to accomplish? You know, what's an issue? I want to share all my pictures with my mother. I want to have headphones. You know, there are things that you are trying to do, and it's important to solve problems and then figure out what's the technology. Can technology help me? As opposed to taking technology and saying, you have to have this because it's shiny.
Tell me, do you have anything special for our audience today?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to continue the conversation with other impactful parents out there. And I'd love to do like a virtual gadget party to show you some more of the things that you could be using. You know, I go off to libraries and schools and so forth and usually charge them a speaker fee. But for your audience, I wouldn't charge anything. And I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I really just want to let them discover these cool things. So we could do something where the first 5 people who come back to me, we can give them a free virtual gadget party.
That sounds wonderful. So you heard it here, audience. If you would like to get a virtual gadget party where you're just going to learn about all these options and opportunities that you can have for you and your children, your family, and your friends, let's comment down below on this video with the word gadget. Comment with the word gadget. First 5 people to do so, and we'll have Scott contact you and get that gadget party. It's absolutely free. Why not do it, you guys? This is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for being on today, Scott. You have so much to offer. But until next time, you got this, parents. We're just here to help.